We're going to try a few techniques with this bread oven that people suggested in comments to our short.
Yeah,
this is the second time we're using this bread oven.
Yeah, second time we're using the bread oven.
And we'll start by mixing and kneading the dough while discussing what's in American bread and why do I bake my own sourdough. After the bulk rise, we'll shape and bake the dough in the bread oven while digging into US bread culture and how to fix it. Then will come the big reveal and the answer to the ultimate question: is a bread oven and home bread baking worth it? Let's get started.
Before we get to the bread oven, let's see if we can get the starter to rise after 4 weeks in the fridge. And whichever starter does better, we're gonna use it. We've got our blueberry starter and our cranberry junior starter, right? And these starters have been in the fridge now for about a month because we've been traveling around Asia.
Pretty fun street.
We need to check if we can revive these starters. So first we're gonna feed them, and then we're going to watch to see if they'll rise.
I could blow big crumbs too.
My son inspired me to make sourdough because he loves bread, and I was horrified when I looked at ingredients of most breads in America, even at more upscale grocery stores like Whole Foods. Even Whole Foods sells sourdough breads with additives like riboflavin, niacin to mimic vitamin B that's lost when bread flour gets refined. While this may be far superior to the preservatives in most baked breads, it's still unnatural and by most of the world's standards not
Give blueberry a
real
little
bread.
food here.
For mixing the starter, I use a 2-to-1 ratio of flour to water and then eyeball it until it has a yogurt-like thickness
Oh,
and
you know what I
consistency.
forgot? You gotta discard some of it first. Oops. Alright. You're supposed to discard half before you feed it. You see, I'm really rusty. Let's see if this still works. I want to get rid of all this. So now we're gonna use some hot water.
I'm just clearing everything.
Because I wasn't happy with American bread, I started trying to make my own, and I even made a video documenting my first 6 months. As of the making of this video, I'm almost 10 months now into my sourdough journey.
Okay, fine.
4-year-old with attitude. I actually think this is the right consistency. Here you go. Now let's try the other starter. This time I'm going to discard half. It'll be good.
Minnie's gonna sit right here. Is that okay, Dada?
That's okay.
As you'll see from the recipe we use, we're very simple and classic. Starter, water, flour, and salt. That's it. Unlike the average American grocery store bread aisle that's a journey through preservatives and artificial flavorings, including ingredients that are banned across much of the world like potassium bromide. At this home bakery there are no shortcuts, just classic recipes and simple ingredients that have stood the test of time. The starter's ready, so we're ready to mix. I use about 100 grams active starter, and then I add approximately 375 grams of tepid or slightly warm water. Add about 9 grams of salt. I like the Himalayan pink sea salt. And then I mix up this beautiful liquid combination, which honestly, when I first read about it, seemed very daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, this actually goes really fast, and it's not that hard. Now I'm adding approximately 440 grams of bread flour and 60 grams of another type of flour, usually spelt, although I really like buckwheat and whole wheat too. And you know, if I can do this, many of you can too. It sure takes a little time, but once you get the hang of it, it's like riding a bike. But a lot of it is planning and waiting, like what we're about to do now for the auto lies, which is about 1 hour. We have a nice little intermission special for you. Starter snacks. I had extra starter I didn't use from blueberry, so we're gonna empty this guy out and make some snacks for the family while they wait for the bread. Add a little oil to a skillet or any type of pan of your choice. Heat that up, put on the starter as if they're like little pancakes. Sprinkle on some salt, pepper, maybe even a little garlic. Go wild, have fun with it. I've tried sweet versions of these. They did not turn out as well, but if you have any recipes for sweet versions of starter snacks, I'm all ears. But these savory ones are a big hit. with my families. Don't just throw away your starter, guys, when you're feeding it and feeding it properly by discarding at least half. Use it up. It's delicious, and it's fermented dough. Enjoy it. It's good for you. Now that the dough has auto-lyzed, it is time to do a round of stretch and folds. Now, I know some of you get really intense about your stretch and folds, returning to the dough every few hours. I'm pretty simple here. I do it once, I go in a full circle, pushing down in the middle, pulling on the ends, and bringing it on top. And I've learned in about 10 months of doing this that you really need to sense the dough, not look at any one particular recipe. If your hands need to be a little wetter, for example, if the dough's a little too dry, here I am getting my hands a little wet, putting a little more water on the dough. You don't want it to be too sticky. Once the dough has a stiffer consistency, I flip it so that the folded side is at the bottom, and I just leave it there for about 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours. I know many of you said I overproofed the last one, so let's see what happened here. Doesn't look overproof to me. It looks pretty good. Some nice bubbles in there. Doesn't dimple too much. It springs back. To me, this is showing all the signs of dough that is ready to shape. So let's head to that section. One question I had when I embarked on my sourdough journey was, why is American bread culture so different from a place like France? And how did our bread cultures diverge so drastically? The first time I visited France was in 2010, and I still vividly remember getting off the overnight train from Milan at Gare du Nord in Paris and being hit with the smell of bread. It was 6 a.m. and the boulangeries were just opening their doors. A French grandma invited us haggard American boys into her shop where she was selling fresh croissants, and it made all of our mouths water. It felt like I had stepped into a cathedral of bread. The fresh yeasty aroma has still stuck with me to this very day. There's a love and passion not only in that boulangerie but across all of the bread shops in France. And I learned that the French developed their bread obsession out of both necessity and scarcity. In the 18th century, for example, the average French person consumed 60 to 80% of their caloric intake from bread. After we do some more stretch and folds and shape this dough, by the way, we're doing a little bench rest for about 5 minutes. And then I'm using my bench scraper here to shape her even further before putting it in a bowl with a towel that is covered in flour. A little more flour for the top, and she's going to go into the fridge now for at least 30 minutes, ideally much longer, as long as you can get, maybe even up to like 8 hours to really solidify the shape, and that will complete the second rise. Let's see how she looks.
Okay,
I'd say ready to bake. But getting back to France, the big difference between American and French bread culture is that for the French, bread was life. In fact, that apocryphal phrase attributed to Marie Antoinette, "let them eat cake," was an alleged instigator of the French Revolution as bread prices spiked and quality dropped. French rioted. Now let's prep our bread oven. I use avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point, dust on a little flour, and now this time I'm taking the advice of one of the commenters and preheating the oven with the bread oven inside. I didn't do this last time, and I don't think I got enough spring on the bread because I need to create steam, right? You need steam in order for the bread to rise quicker and better, so I did that this time. This is now fully preheated. Just got to make sure you don't burn yourself. This part is really tricky too. You have to drop the loaf into the bread oven. If anybody has better techniques for doing this, I'd love to hear it.
I'm crazy?
I need one of these scoring tools too because I've been using a serrated knife. Not ideal, but it gets the job done. And now we're going into the oven. It's 450 degrees for 20 minutes covered. Out of the oven after 20 minutes, and let's see how she's doing.
Whoa, that's a good rise.
Good spring.
That's a good rise.
Spring.
Nice.
Bread recipes I've been using have led me to, I think, overcook my bread. They've suggested another 30 minutes uncovered. I'm only doing 20 minutes because look at how she looks after. This is 40 minutes total in the oven. I think I just have a really hot oven. But this color to me indicates she's done. So let's take out that cooling rack. Perhaps my favorite part of baking with this bread oven is the bottom imprint that it leaves. It really allows the bottom part of the bread to bake nicely. But could we ever establish the bread culture that the French have here in America? I'm not sure. We have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to resources in America, and we don't have the history and culture that the French do with bread. I think it will take a big cultural shift to make Americans unhappy with settling for worse quality. And once people start to learn a little more about what preservatives or additives are in their bread, they might think otherwise, and they might prefer fresher options over bagged ones. Now for the big reveal. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this loaf. Solid crumb structure, good crust, good spring. Thank you very much for everyone who sent in their tips. And with regards to the final conclusion, a bread oven is absolutely worth it for baking bread. This Le Creuset one is really solid, cast iron, high quality. I've baked a few more times since making this video, and I just love it every single time.
Oh my God, it's delicious. This is definitely one of my best loaves. Highly recommend preheating that bread oven before making bread. It really makes a difference.
So I would encourage you to give it a shot. It's really not that hard. It's time consuming, but if you are strategic around the baking windows in which you're letting your bread rise, a lot of the work is very passive. The starter does the work for you. So I would also encourage you to scrutinize more the type of bread that you buy. As Americans become more conscious about where their food comes from and what's added to it, bread should be no different. We may not have had revolutions because of bread like the French, but that doesn't mean we should settle for chemical shortcuts. In my view, we only get one life and food is a big part of it. Why not make each experience count? Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Be sure to click like, subscribe, leave a comment,
Mama made these
and
muffins earlier.
I'll
They're
see you
really
soon.
nice.
Cheers. Happy baking.
Uh-oh.